Yes. Global Empire Entertainment Media. You are not ready. And if you are, step back. It's going down. Global Empire ENT Media is now live. Are you ready? Empire. Global Empire. Entertainment. Live stream. Welcome to the show. Yes, we are live and we're ready. Prepare for the greatest live stream available.
Are we ready? Are we ready, folks? I hope you're ready, because when I tell you legendary, I mean just that. He put the L in legendary, you all. Are you ready to meet today's guest? If you are, say yes. Say yes. And also, you must share this out, you guys. Introducing to everyone and to the gems, Mr. Tony Newton, y'all. There he is. There he is. Salute.
Hello
salute.
there.
How are you?
Today's a good day.
It is such a good day. I always say any day above 7 feet under is a good day.
Right, it's a good day, right? Exactly.
Yes, indeed. Oh my God, you do not know. I've been so anxious to do this interview. Oh my goodness. But you know what? I always say it's best to allow someone to tell their story, because no one can tell your story like you can tell your story. Am I right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can be an outsider looking in, but
Yes.
you may have a little bit more juiciness to give us, okay?
Well, I can still insert the juiciness, right? Within
Yes,
the
of
interview.
course. Of course. You know what? There's no holds barred. Look, I always get my channels taken sometimes talking about the government and so forth. So, hey, why not?
Right.
Okay, they say you only live once, but then again, I did come back. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, that is another story.
That is a whole new story. They're not ready for that one. But Mr. Tony Newton, tell me, first of all, when did you get into music? At what age were you?
I think about 5 or 6. There was a neighbor that had a piano in back of us, and that was in Detroit. And so I used to go over there and, bang on the piano. And then when I started elementary school, I was in the choir, and but my family couldn't afford a piano, so I joined the orchestra and the band in the school, because in those days they gave you the instruments, you could take them home, right?
I
And
remember those days when they still trusted people.
right,
Yes, Paul.
exactly.
Go
So,
ahead.
so, uh, it was great. Bringing home an instrument, because I tell people basically I'm classically trained and street trained, right?
Mm.
Because I can at school I get the classical training, and then when I come home I get the street training, right?
If you think of it, that's like the best of both worlds, you
Oh,
know?
no doubt about it.
And you know what? I've heard musicians say this, especially the ones that are in church. They would say,
Yeah,
"Look, we're totally different in church, and
yeah.
then when we go out, on the road, it's like so." But you still hear a lot of the influence of
Yeah.
the church upbringing. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Right.
So now,
Exactly.
so let me ask you this: so you started off little bitty tyke. What was your very first, let's say, introduction to mainstream music? I
Well,
already know, but
well. First of all, I had a clock radio that I'd wake up to every morning, and then my stepmother, she was into the contemporary music at that time, which was a lot of Ray Charles, Elvis, Little Richard, and that type of thing. So, and she would buy the albums and play them at home, right?
right,
So between the clock radio and I could, tune in to any station. Like I used to listen to Wolfman Jack, and then there's
hmm
Randy down south. I turn the radio a certain way, right?
yeah,
And then like I always talk about the Blind Boys because I remember them every Sunday, right?
man, you bringing it back. You know that, right?
So it was, uh, uh, I was interested in sports at one point. In fact, I held a Michigan record. I was one of the only black speed skaters, probably.
Now I
You
didn't
know,
know that.
that's
Wow.
that's why I'm glad to see. I can't think of her name now. As a black female speed skater out there, right? Because we don't seem to relate to ice, right? Ice and cold, but it was. I believe we excel at anything we try, right?
Right.
And so yeah, it was really interesting all of the time. The mixture of the radio, listening to the music at home, and then as you probably remember, everybody had a radio going on in their house during
Yes.
those times in the neighborhood, right? So
Yes.
you could walk down the street and you still be hearing music, right?
Everywhere you turned, there was music on someone's porch, coming out of
Yes,
the kitchen. So you
yeah.
knew whether they were like secular lovers or whether they
Yes,
were, yeah.
right. And I think still to this day, the 60s were the greatest time
Mhm.
for the explosion of music, records, and the most variety, right? And so it was a great time to be alive.
Yes. Well, I was just a tiny, teeny little one in the 60s.
Right,
you
right.
know,
Well, me too.
right, I barely remember. Okay.
Right.
But you are absolutely correct. Oh my God. It was almost as if like the world had changed overnight,
Yes, right.
in the music industry. And we were like,
Yeah,
whoa, what is
yeah,
going on here?
yeah. Right.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because it exploded everywhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the 40s or 50s. It was, even though they had radio, uh, but the 60s had radio and TV. So
Yes.
I think that made the difference, right?
Yeah.
And as well as everybody listened to radio stations, listened to music in their cars, and they was in their cars a lot, right?
Yeah. Exactly. 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 So we know that the explosion happened in the 60s. And when did you jump into, I mean, a whole different scene?
Well, it happened in high school, yeah,
Mm.
right? And so when you get around that age, you start turning teenagers, then you start to realize a couple of things. Then you connect with some other people of like mind, which
Mm-hmm.
I did because I'm already in the orchestras and bands. And so, of course, there was a high school band, right? I'm talking
Right.
about of us, private guys, right?
Yeah.
And so we put together a group. In fact, one of my people that we was in the group, his name is Eddie Sine. He's had a couple of hits out in Detroit, and we grew up together. And but you know, the older we get, the after high school, we did our own career,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but we're thinking we want to do touring now together, right? Because the story is so amazing between us, as you mentioned, growing into it, meeting in high school and growing. Then we separated, each of went our own ways and paved our own paths. And so, I'll tell you the first gig we did. It
Mhm.
was in Detroit. It was the Masonic Hall, Masonic Temple, and it was opening for Nina Simone. And
Wow.
I was playing saxophone at the time, right? He was playing guitar. And so we opened up for Nina. And then as I got older, uh of course I want to get out and play more different things. So after the high school thing, uh I cut some hair off my head and put it on my mouth and made a mustache so I could play in the clubs, right?
Oh my
And
God.
then
You
they
know what?
wouldn't ask me for my ID, right? And so,
A lot of musicians did that.
yeah,
My beloved, he did the exact same thing because when he
uh,
started gigging, he was too young.
yeah,
So they would like put a curtain in front of the pianos so they
yeah,
couldn't see that his feet didn't touch the ground. And then they would, color
yeah,
in a little,
right, right,
yeah.
right.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's like we did whatever we had to do,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so um, then I started playing with a lot of blues artists and Jimmy Reed, Lil Walter, John Lee Hooker, and all these guys, right? Because I could connect with them, and so uh, that's where Motown found me. Now, in the midst of all of this,
Wait. Hold on. You went over there. You said that's when Motown found you. Now, was this the very beginning stages of Motown or had they already?
that's where I was going, right?
Right.
That's exactly where I was going. This
Uh-huh.
is the beginning stages of Motown, but they had hits, but they were looking for people still because it was just becoming booming,
Yeah.
right? So every musician in the city of Detroit, of course, wanted in because it was the latest thing that was happening, right? And so I was playing with John Lee Hooker at the time, and I didn't even know they came to see me. And so next thing I know is they're knocking on my door, and they want me to play with Smoke and the Miracles and take James Jameson's place because they want him to stay in the studio. And so that's where it all began.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just a little speechless. Okay. Forgive me. All right. When you're mentioning these names, I feel so little, and I feel like a little flea. And
No, they're just people. We're
no,
all
no,
just
no. I
people.
know. Right. I know. But still, okay. I mean,
Yeah,
just
right.
let me have this moment, okay?
Yes, right. Yeah, right.
But okay.
You can
So
soak it in, right?
right. Okay.
There's going to be a lot of more.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So you started with Motown. It was sort of by accident, almost, if you think about it, or
I think it was obviously meant to be.
it was destiny. Yeah.
It was part of my destiny, and
Yeah.
if I looking back on it, right, and so um, because I didn't know, I had it in my conscious that I wanted to be a part of Motown.
Right.
I was looking for a way to get in, but I didn't know it was going to happen this way.
Look, it was just laid there for you. Like, okay, don't worry about the
You
semantics.
know, you
Here
talk
are
about dreams come true, right? This is one of them that happened, right? So it was amazing in and of itself. And I was just glad that I could rise to the occasion to fulfill the spot, right? And they
yeah,
picked me for a reason, because I could take his place, and there wasn't that many people that could take his place, right?
right,
And
right.
uh, so I was very glad about that. And then that opened me up to all of the other Motown family and artists, right? So I played with everybody like I was everybody's music director. And
I was
see,
gonna ask you that, right? So
so
who were
when
your
we
music
went to
directors?
the Apollo, now this is before I became music director with Smokey. So
Okay,
what would happen is we go to the Apollo and maybe Martha and the Vandellas, Marvelettes, Temps, or somebody, the ones that didn't have their own bands, then they needed a music director to get that Motown sound, as well as I had it in my fingers, right?
yeah.
So I would assist them, and that's when they Smokey and the Miracles, they noticed that I could handle that job, and within about a couple of years, I became music director for them, right?
So let me ask you something. What was it like in the early days of Motown? Was it just a lot of energy, great energy, young people, thirsty, they call
Yes,
it now, but
yes. Well, what's happening is that the whole city of Detroit was burgeoning, uh, all over the place, with music in the clubs and
mhm,
studios, and all of them trying to be like Motown. There's damn near a club and a studio on every corner, right? And so the music was just amazing, and it was all highly, you couldn't fake it, because it was like New York, right? In the sense that uh, you had to be, uh, you know, you had to know what you were doing, right? Because
right,
and mostly everybody in Detroit, though, we all had the same teachers growing up, mainly, right?
right,
And so those teachers brought us up to a certain level where we could read music quickly and we knew how to create music as well, right? Be
right.
loose enough to create. And so going back to Motown, so all of the energy, Motown is bustling with the energy all over the place, right? Because it's blowing up all around the world, right?
Yes, yes.
And so we're going on tours, and I don't know if you've seen that one video of me in Ready Steady Go Motown 1965. That was our first tour, and I was with everyone. Martha Vandellas, Temptations, Little Stevie, Mickey.
Amazing.
What am I thinking about? Stevie Wonder, uh, 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 and Smokey and the Miracles, right? And everybody except Marvin, I think, at that time, right?
Hmm.
And so that was the first Motown tour throughout England, and we winded up. We was over there for a month, and we ended up in Paris, France, and it's an album called Motown Review in
Hmm.
Paris.
Hmm.
So that captured all of the energy that we had built up from the tour.
Let me ask you something. Who did you meet when you went on the European tour? Was there a certain group?
When you say meet, what do you mean?
I mean, did you ever meet the Rolling Stones?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Uh, a lot of them came to meet us. I met the Rolling Stones at the Tammy show. I have pictures with me and them.
On the
Uh,
Tammy Terrell show?
no, it's called the Tammy show. It was
Tammy show.
like California Woodstock, right?
Okay,
It's
got it.
around that same time, and everybody's on it. The Beach Boys, Marvin was on it, Supremes were on it. That's the one you see in the James Brown movie when he talks about the Stones, him and the Stones. They're arguing
Yeah.
about who goes on first. Well, I
Yeah.
was there, right?
Oh, wow.
And so it was. It's really amazing to see those moments come out in different ways, like that one, right? Because
Yeah.
I was there during that time, right? And so James, that was probably the best performance of James's life because he wanted to kick their ass, right? Because
Yeah.
he said we let the Stones go on last, right? But it didn't matter because he was still, he was still kicking butt
Wait,
all
wait.
over.
Who would let the Stones? I mean, because after all of you all,
Yeah.
why? How, I could
Well,
never.
that was happening too at the same time, the British invasion,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So there was another group I can't think of now. There was a couple of them from England,
Mhm.
but the Stones were the biggest ones. That's why they
Wait,
starred.
was Kiss from?
No,
No.
Kiss is from out here, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay. I don't know why I thought
What's it? Some
guy
birds,
with the
the
tongue.
birds.
What's the guy with the tongue? I thought he was British. I'm not sure.
Oh, Gene Simmons, you thought?
Yeah, yeah.
No,
He just sounds British.
right.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So how was it like touring all over the world with so many different, because to you,
Yeah.
they're just artists,
Yes.
fellow artists.
Yes.
But was it grueling?
Oh, definitely. It's grueling when you're doing show after show every night. I mean, even the Apollo is grueling. What most people don't understand is there's 5 or 6 shows a day at the Apollo. They show the movie. You start in the morning. They show the movie in the morning. Then the show happens. So that's the cycle. Movies, show, movies, show, movies, show, and it'd be about 10 acts on the show in those days, right? So it was amazing because you'll never see 10 great acts these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Now it's one and hope that you get out of the concert alive.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they just want to live now after
Yeah,
the
right.
concert. But you know what? I have noticed though that there is a vast difference in showmanship now. Back in the 60s, the 70s, you paying for a show, you never forgot it, and you
Right.
couldn't wait for
That
it to
went
come
away.
back.
That seemed to go away for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still some of us believe in showmanship, right? Because that's what it is, a showmanship. And that's what you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be just standing there. Just because you're a great talent doesn't mean that you can't be a show person and give a good show, because then your audience is going to enjoy your music more when that other showman aspect is added, as opposed to when it's not added. Sure, they can enjoy it and it be totally pure and true, but then you don't have no icing on the cake.
Exactly.
You don't have no edge, right?
Okay, it's like give us something we'll never ever forget.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I was thinking as well, while I pull this up, you all please go to YouTube, go to Tony Newton. Oh my God, the videos, they are simply incredible. I mean, but let me ask you something. So what instruments do you actually play besides the bass?
Piano. But I also I play 12 different instruments. I play all of the woodwinds, which is all of the saxophones, the flutes, and clarinets. Now there's soprano sax, alto sax, tenor sax, baritone sax, and bass sax. And then in the clarinet family, it's B flat clarinet, E flat clarinet, bass clarinet, and contrabass clarinet. And the flute family is very similar. Now you went away. Are you still there?
Hold on, I'm still here. Still here. Go ahead.
So I played all those instruments. I wound up on the sax, and so, but these days I only play see what you don't know this either. When
What's
in
that?
the 80s, I went back to school because I wanted to be as good as any master in history. So I wanted to be good as Beethoven or Chopin or any of those guys, right? So I went back to school and got my theory and composition and
Mm,
piano degree, right, in the early 80s. And
mm.
so I spent quite a bit of time. So I made a full circle back to the piano. Remember, that was
Wow.
the first instrument I played. Then I didn't play it for 30 years or so, and then I came back to it, and so that's what I do now is I play keyboards and but bass is my main instrument, but I ain't no slouch on the keyboards either.
Would you know what's amazing? And I hear this all the time. You never forget your first love.
Yes,
You know,
right,
and I
right.
believe that's true. You never,
Yeah.
even if it's an
Well, it's
instrument,
different,
right?
right? I mean, that's what got me into. Now you're talking about that. To answer that question, you gave me first about getting into mainstream music.
Hmm.
That was the time when the upright bass and the electric bass was coming on to the scene. And even with Motown, like Mary Wells, there was, and I think Smokey's the first hit, uh,
Hmm.
You Really Got a Hold on Me, they
Mm.
had upright basses on them. So when I first heard the electric bass,
Yes.
it touched me so deep. I said, I want in on this instrument, right? And I know I could be playing it my whole life. And so that's where it started because it motivated the instrument motivate because what a
Mm.
lot of people uh, should understand is that the bass is a very powerful instrument.
Yes.
That's what made Motown was sure everything had great artists and great songwriting, great production and all that,
Right.
but there has to be a foundation, and the
Hmm.
bass and drums are the foundation of all of that. And more
Mm.
specifically, it's the bass. And it doesn't matter. You can listen to any hit record and it'll have a strong bass line, right?
Hmm.
And you'll be feeling that bass while you're dancing, right?
That's true. That
And,
is very true.
and so that's what motivated me. And then I came back full circle all this time back to the piano to dive more into melody and harmony and other realms of music, right?
My goodness, you know what? And I always like to go backwards,
Yeah,
to see where people
yeah.
started and different things about them. So I'm gonna cue something up. So you stay right there, okay?
Okay,
You stay right there. Don't move.
okay.
Hold on, folks. I got a surprise for you.
special harmonies because the church knew that if you played fifth, then you would have a spiritual experience, that you would have a tendency to focus and attune more to your spiritual selves if you heard these intervals of a fifth. And so what they do is they do a fifth and a fourth, and they stack two of them on top of each other and continue to stack. Noble phonics is anywhere from 3 to 12. So the power is magnified tenfold. That's why during the course of this, I would think that you guys would think more spiritual thoughts, think different thoughts.
Well, folks, I tell you what, when I say a legend, I mean a legend. I'm not playing with y'all up in here. This is Tony Newton, y'all. I had to do that because, I know about the bassist, but it's just something about the keyboards and the piano. It just does something to me. I'm sorry.
Right. No, I understand. It does the same thing to me. Right.
Okay. I thought it was just me.
No. It does the exact same thing to me. That's why I get into it so deep. There's one of those performances where I'm playing inside the piano. Right. I love it.
I saw that.
You saw it.
I did not know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Right.
but you know what, guys? You're gonna have to go to YouTube and look up Tony Newton. You got to see this. Like when I saw it, I said, okay, I know I'm not saying what I'm saying. Okay, I'm delusional. Maybe it's the medicine. I didn't know. But
right. No, I was inside. The piano.
Let me ask you something. So when you went to the UK and you met the Stones, right? You met them personally, correct?
No, they never came.
They never came.
No.
Okay.
No, at least not that I saw. Like I said, I met them on the Tammy Show.
The Tammy Show, that's right.
Personally, I have a picture of them. It's on my Facebook page, but you got to scroll forever, right?
Right. Let me ask you something. What were they like? Were they very in awe?
Yes, because this was something that they couldn't touch, right? It was something that was beyond them, but they could still tap into it and take what was good from it and use it in their own way, which it's very creative and it's a great thing, right?
Right. I believe that it is a compliment.
Yes, it is.
I really do. And it seems like they always honor, the legends or the forefounders of every genre.
Yes, they do.
Right. So
that's what's good about England and the British people.
Yes.
The whole Europe, right? They recognize deep gifts and deep musical gifts, and they give them respect, right? And they hold it on. They hold on to it, right? They don't just. It's not a trend for them, right?
You're not like they hold on to it like, no, it's ours now. Thank you. We appreciate it. You started. Just give it to us.
Yes,
okay.
Right.
We need something over here too.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So let me ask you something, Tony. So after Motown, after you toured with them and so forth, what was the next in the progression?
Okay. So next in the progression was when Holland Dozier Holland left Motown, they formed Invictus Hot Wax Music, and they allowed. Well, I played on everything that came out of there, and they chose me to put the group, the Eighth Day, together. So that was my first, my own group, right? That was my first venture into having a group of 8 people. No, that's right. And so I chose right. So I chose people from across the country, and I love the situation. It's just that the company didn't have the management to hold it together. Then what happened was, the auto industry started shutting down because they ignored all the Japanese cars coming in at the time, and Detroit just got shut down, right? And so because all of the work went away. I'm a result. My father worked at Ford his whole life, right? I'm a Ford baby. And so people came from the South, from North, everywhere to Detroit because there was jobs there in all of the factories or the car manufacturers, right? And so I saw Detroit shutting down. So I have been coming to California. We came with Smokey a couple of times a year, and I liked it out here, and the weather was good, and the culture was tremendous because it was very mixed, and I really liked the multicultural aspect, that and the weather, and so I made a decision to move to California. Now, when I got to California, well, of course, they wanted the Detroit sound on a lot of the records, right? So I played on, that's when I played on ABC and I'll Be There and the Motown things that come from Motown, California. But however, I was able to widen my reach, like to Aretha, to the Mamas and Papas, Little Richard, all kinds of other people out here in Los Angeles, right? Or in Hollywood. That's where all the studios were. And so then now two things happened. Once was, do you know who Michael Henderson is?
Heard of him.
Yeah, he sang "You Are My Star, You Are My Starship." So he was also a bass player, and he was playing with Miles. He just passed a couple of days ago.
Oh, wow.
And so I called him from Los Angeles, and he was playing with Miles Davis. And I asked him, I told him I was looking for something to get into because I like playing the session thing, but I'm more of an artistic person. So I lean towards groups and all of that, right? So he said, well, yeah, Tony Williams is looking for people. They've tried out 40 cats, right? So I sent them my stuff, sent them clips of my stuff, and they flew me to New York, and the rest is history, as they say. So that allowed me to be one of the creators of jazz rock fusion in that particular situation, because I wrote and produced jazz rock fusion, right?
Jazz rock fusion.
Yeah, so that was late 70s. Then we go into early 80s. I got a call from somebody who had heard me after that situation to join with Gary Moore, the great Irish guitarist from Thin Lizzy. And so then we made the group G4. So that was a total hard rock group, but it was more sophisticated than just regular hard rock, right? And so, but it allowed me entry into the rock field. So I pride myself on being able to become at one with anything. That's why I've been able to play with so many artists and different types of artists, because I can bring something to the table because I tune into them. I become at one with their music and allow it to flow through me. And that's what creates the magic overall, right? And so I learned that early, I guess, by playing in so many orchestras and things like that and groups. And so, but I still had my own path to follow. Even though I put together with all of these groups and things together, then I had enough of groups. And I said, well, it's time for, and I even did it when I came out here. I had another group called Newton's Law. We were the first group to sign with Interscope, but it didn't happen. And so I said, after that, okay, it's time for me to do my thing, period. So that's what I did, right? And so I've been following my own path since the 2000s, I think.
2000s.
Yeah,
Well, I've
right.
got something else. I've got to pull it up. Okay, I love my visuals. I'm a very visual person.
Uh,
But I heard about an award that you won. But I've got to play something first, okay?
okay.
You stay right there.
Yeah.
Y'all know
And now, the presentation of the Outstanding Legacy Award.
The AKADEMIA 2022 Outstanding Legacy Award is a special honor being bestowed upon those rare artists whose musical legacy is deemed timeless and important to future generations. In this time of uncertainty and upheaval in the world, we, the creative community, must redefine what is truly worth preserving about the human experience, what is truly worth enduring for centuries to come.
The Academy is pleased to present the 2022 Outstanding Legacy Award to Tony Newton.
To the AKADEMIA, I am truly honored and blessed. Thank you for all your support. I believe my mission is to write timeless music which is empowering and can be enjoyed by contemporary and future generations. And music legacy is very important to me, as during these challenging and uncertain times, music is a constant force for personal evolution, empowerment, and growth. From the bottom of my heart to the top of my soul, I send you all much, much love.
Democracy, hypocrisy, mass pollution, evolution. False dictators reign no more. Free will has closed that door, feeling the overwhelming will to survive. And the nine freedoms need to one people, one planet. Winds of change are blowing through, yes they are. One people, one planet. Lord's hand's gonna guide us through. Come on now. It's time for the start of the beginning. A new world where love is winning, yeah. Oil fields, green hills, streets homeless, they are not
I tell you what, one people, one planet. You know
Right.
what's so ironic about that? When I was watching that video, we were actually working on a Heal the Planet mixed tape
No,
for
yeah,
artists around the world, and I
yes.
was about to cry because I'm gonna post the cover of the album, but it had the exact same planet, and we were holding it up
Oh,
with
yeah,
our
right.
hands, and
That's
I'm
right.
like, this okay, this
The
is what it is.
synchronicity, right.
Yes, that's what it is. That is
Yes.
exactly what it is. Let me
Hmm.
ask you something. I'm not gonna keep you long, but we always come strong. What are you working on now? I know
So,
what it is.
yeah, right. So, I'm working on Mars Quest, the immersive music movie, which means that uh, I'm telling the story of human beings' quest for Mars through music in a film, a full length feature film, right? And so there is some narration. I call it a docu musical, and
Docu
so
musical. Okay.
right, and so because it starts with Galileo and comes
Yes.
all the way up to now with Elon and the rockets that he's making and what he's doing, and everyone else is. We also covered the space race from between Russia, and we deal with the International Space Station. So I tried to be as accurate as I could to the timeline of space exploration, but all of this is told through music.
Let me ask you. So what made you decide to get into film?
Well, this is not my first rodeo. When I first moved out here, uh, you won't believe this. When I first, one of the reasons why I moved to California is because I had put a film together. It was called The Devil Walks Among Us. At that time, it was also a music film. Just told all it didn't have any narration. It was all music and songs. I took it to Paramount, and they said, "We don't see no story." I said, "The story's in the music." So it didn't happen. Now the strange part about it is when I look back and my friends tell me, "Oh, well, that was the first music video." Because I was doing music videos before anybody thought about doing music
Wow.
videos, right? And
Right.
so then I did the same thing with my symphony. Uh, so the difference between this project and those projects is that Mars is a timely topic now, and it's a very hot topic because of our global warming. We got a
Yeah.
big asteroid coming our way, and all of this. And so, uh, first of all, I did the song because the song was called Mars from this famous composer. His name is Gustav Holst, and
Yes.
he wrote the planets, and I love the song, so I did the song, and I got such great response from it. I said I was inspired to just keep moving on the project, right? And so I said, well, okay, I'm going to turn this into a full length film, and because I knew it's a ton of work because I had to do everything right. But uh, I had to treasure hunt and go find all the historic footage and all of that, and go to these various websites to get footage, and so. But I'm still happy now, and I'm still feeling like I'm being guided in this project. Uh, because basically it's for humanity. And so uh, uh, for us to be more conscious about what we're doing here on Earth and other possibilities. So that's what inspired me, and that's what I'm working on now.
Well,
And
you know what? There's only one way to do it. You
yeah,
already know it's only one way to do it. Let's look. Let's look together, shall we? This is so exciting. Guys, I told you I didn't come here to play today. I didn't come here to play. All right? Listen, you know I love visuals, I love music, I love frequency, I love vibrations.
Right.
This was all everything in one. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm losing signal. It looks like I have one bar. I don't know what's going on in my city.
Right.
You know, I don't know what's going on in my city. I really don't. You know, it's hail in the summer, and then I don't know. But anyway, where can we find you? Just in case they're looking for you.
Okay, TonyNewtonMusic.com.
Okay, TonyNewtonMusic.com.
That's a website, and Tony Newton Music Artist on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Wonderful. Right. Well, I want everyone to know that Mr. Newton is going to be in our upcoming magazine. So you're going to be seeing a lot of visuals, of course. You know us, we love our visuals. Yeah. And you're going to learn a little bit more about the man, you all. So I just want to say thank you so much for blessing us.
Thank you so much. Much love.
Much love. And you know I'm coming back for you in a couple of months. You already know that.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And you have a great weekend.
You too. And everyone out there.
Bye, Tony.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Well, guys, I think we did it. What do you think? Did you enjoy today's show? I don't even call it a show anymore. I just call it greatness. And I manifest it. Manifesting does work. All you have to do is say, listen, I want so-and-so. I want so-and-so. And that's what we did, guys. We actually, it works. It works. There's nothing that you cannot do when you put your manifestations, you put your prayers, whatever you call it, put it into it, speak it, see it, believe it, manifest it. Yeah. And that's how it works. So until next time, guys, peace, power, understanding, wisdom, and light. Be looking out for Global Fire Magazine and more about Mr. Tony Newton. Bye, folks.
Thank